What's going on, guys? PXCam back in with a brand new video. I am not gonna lie to you guys, I do not know what Polyphony is smoking. There has to be someone trolling in Polyphony development, because they have put together one of the most interesting and at the same time one of the most entertaining and worst races that I've ever seen in my life. And you guys can see it's right here. 12 cars around Raceway BB circuit in the Audi TT, not the Group 4 version, but just a normal Audi TT 3.2 Quattro. So grid start around this really small track, 10 laps, 12 cars. What can happen? You know, what's the worst that can happen? So we get our 3, 2, 1, away we go, and we get a decent start. We shift our way to the inside, try to get in front of Tranquility Joe going to the corner, but just take it really nice and easy, as we don't want to get involved into anything right now. It's such a tight pack because this was a grid start, and this is a very short track. If you were running a lot of these faster cars like the Group 1s and Group 2s, you can get around this track in about maybe 30 seconds to maybe 35 seconds. But since we're running the Audi TT, I believe the lap times here were about 45 to 50 seconds, and that is really quick for these type of cars. You can see we already are finding ourselves in a battle for 4th place. So the only breaking point right now is turn number 1 for this race, and you can see that I am not good at this racetrack. I've not done enough practice here. I've only raced here. Actually, I think this is my first and only race that I've done around here, but turn number 1, for some reason with these cars, was just so difficult to get down. Either you go in with too much speed, or you just put in too much braking where it just kills your momentum. And that is the number 1 thing to get right around here, is the momentum. If you do not get a good turn number 1, it just ruins the rest of your lap, because everything else is just mainly flat out. But we started off in 4th place, and we now find ourselves in 8th. Not the most ideal situation. So we go back into turn number 1. You can see how bad we screwed it up, as we just head straight into the wall, and we get overtaken by our MB, which is, I believe, Mohammed in his USA account, if you guys don't know him. Cool little small YouTuber, check him out. But yeah, we went from 4th place all the way down to 9th, and at this point I am just struggling to just keep up with these guys up ahead. And you can see right now that, you know, when you don't practice on the race, or if you just jump right into it like we have done here, it's not going to turn out well, even if you are somewhat decent at this game like I am. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I can at least get around the track, but not around this track. This track is kicking my butt. I am not able to stay up to par with these guys up ahead, and you can see how much we are struggling now. So we have now shifted our way into lap number 5. So cool little cheeky transition right there, as we went from lap number 4 to lap number 5. Nothing really happened between there. All we were trying to do was just stay with Muhammad up in 8th place. But as we come out of this final corner, this is where things are starting to get a little bit interesting. As you can see, 7th place wants to go. He is looking for a spot to overtake these guys up ahead. He was moving all the way to the inside, trying to make it 3 abreast, but didn't work out for him. 1 car up ahead goes into the wall, and Muhammad decides to force his way into turn number 2, just pumps out these 2 guys. And that was kind of a naughty move by Muhammad. He gets his payback right there. I completely agree with Joker's move right there, 100%. Got pushed out of the way, so you got to retaliate a little bit back. But with all that fighting that they were doing, all that was allowing us to do was catch up to them. And you can see we have now gotten ourselves in this scuffle right here, as we are on the outside heading into turn number 1. So we go into turn number 1, make a lot of contact with Muhammad. We had to turn the wheel more than 90 degrees to the left, and we just had to hold our line, try to push Muhammad all the way to the left, and fight with him, so we avoid making contact with the wall. And luckily we were able to fight to see another day. But you can see still fighting going on with Muhammad is simply amazing, as we're just, you know, not trying to get involved with this. We want to get around these guys, not get involved with all these fighting and action, because you can see from 5th all the way up, they are basically long gone. They're in their own zip code, and we are still back here in 9th place. So going into turn number 1, Muhammad just forces his way, pushes simply amazing out into the wall, and that is a free position for us, as we now set our sights in 7th, just going onto the outside, see if we can make something happen here. Usually not an ideal situation, as you want to keep it on the inside, especially heading to this long final corner. And you can see why right here. So you get pushed out by I Took Your Jobs. If you guys don't know, that's a South Park reference. But he pushes us out of the way. We get just demolished on this corner, and we get pushed down all the way to 11th place, so almost in last. But this is going to be the sad part right here. And that was basically race over right there, as this race was never going to be nice to us. We just jumped right into it, no practice, just put in about 10 minutes of qualifying time. And yeah, this was the result right here. As you guys can see, even PX Cam has really bad days, as Muhammad did get taken out eventually, which he kind of deserves for the way he was racing this race. But finishes in 12th, we finished in 11th, and you know what, at that point I was just like, I'm done with BB race, so let's jump into a couple races in Brazil. So we jump into our EMEA account, go into Brazil, and we start off in P Steve, get our 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So the Mazda Tenza was the quickest car for qualifying. I'm not sure if it still is now, as usually the cars tend to switch out midway through the week. But yeah, at the time the Tenza was the quickest car here for daily race B. But the one cheating car that was really good on race pace, it was decent on qualifying, was that Scirocco, the Volkswagen Scirocco. That car would just dominate down the straight, and it's very difficult to make overtakes, because you really need that straight line speed and that acceleration to even get yourself anywhere in a position to make the overtake. And you guys will actually see that happening on this race. But good little combination here. I saw some Mustangs racing as well. I also saw some Peugeots, I saw some Audis. I've seen it all for this daily race B, and that's a good direction that Polyphony is taking this game at, because we need more varieties of Group 4s. And some of the updates that they have been doing, some of the changes that they're making with the Group 4 cars has really been improving the action lately, because I've noticed that with Group 4 cars there hasn't really been just one car that excels, except for maybe the Scirocco. The Scirocco has become like the new Peugeot, but it's not always the designated or meta car that is used on these types of races. So you can see right here that off a turn, I don't know what turn that is, but off the final corner, that you can see how fast the Scirocco is compared to our car. As when we head down the straight, we're in the slipstream, and he's still pulling away the Brit right ahead of us. So it just shows you the pace of the Scirocco, and especially if they have the slipstream, as we get pressured by the Spaniard right behind us of Carter, you can see that they just easily just send it off into the inside. They get great acceleration. Cornering is not the best compared to the Tenza, but he is able to just force his way into the inside, make the overtake, and nice little battle with him, as we have to give up P Steve and jump down to P7. So Brazil has also been a really interesting one this week, as there's just been a lot of carnage going on. And if you guys saw the stream on Wednesday when I was doing FIA Nations, it was a train wreck. So not sure what is up with Brazil and crazy racing, but it just seems to always lead to some interesting moves, some interesting drama, and some unnecessary takeouts that just for some reason end up happening here. But right behind us, we're starting to build a little bit of a gap, as Lil Strom Nibro, I believe that's his name, is you know, he's about half a second away from us, so we don't have to really worry about him too much. And we're not fighting with these guys up ahead. We kind of want to pull away from everybody else before we start fighting, because you can see first place is not that far up the road, and it's very easy for one of these guys to get impatient, take the other one out, and we want to be in the position to capitalize on those mistakes. So we get a great run off of the final corner, just make a dumb move of going onto the inside of the Scirocco, as he just decides to not see us there on the bottom, just pushes us out of the way. Not sure if he just wasn't using his map or just didn't realize we were down there, but we get pushed down a little bit, and that kind of kills our momentum that we had. And again, with this top end speed, we're going to be nowhere near the Scirocco. So Scirocco is able to just pull away from us down the straight, and we just fall right back in line. And we get our first blessing of the day, actually double blessing right here, as the two cars right ahead of us both get penalties. And right here, I am just grinning. My teeth are showing. I'm super happy. And not only that, they are fighting really hard with each other, as one of them the Spaniard's trying to force his way into the inside of the Brit. They both slow down a tremendous amount going to turn before. We have nowhere to go except for the rear of the Brit. And at this point, I'm a little bit worried here, because that two penalty advantage that we have right now could have easily slipped away right there, because we made contact with the Brit. But Brake goes wide into the right corner as we head into the second sector. We attempt to go onto the inside and try to make something happen out of here so that we can set our sights on the Spaniard and easily get around him, but just could not get the move done. The Sirocco's just too good on the acceleration, too good on the power, and we lose a position there as the Italian gets pushed out by the I believe it was the Polish guy in third place. Man, I don't know why it took me so long to say push, but yeah, we head into the final corner and it's gonna lead us into the final lap. So final lap, 2 cars up ahead have penalties. The 2 cars up ahead, those guys have bad blood. So this is going to be the recipe towards an interesting dramatic finish here at Brazil. So 1 lap left in this race. We're going to cross the start finish line right now. As you can see, everybody up ahead is just pulling away down the straight. This Mazda just doesn't have the power to keep up with these guys. But as we head into turn number 1, we brake as late as we can. We're just trying to do everything in our power, the desperate moves to just keep up with these guys. And luckily that late brake paid off as we were able to close the gap from the Brit, as it is now 0.3 of a second of a gap between me and him, and he still has to serve his half a second penalty. So serves his penalty, we go into the inside of him. We try to get the Spaniard too heading into turn number 4, but we're just too far back. We weren't able to close up the delta just enough, but the Brit behind us goes a tad bit wide, and now we are focusing on trying to stay in front of him, doing everything in our power to make sure we have the gap, so when we do head into the final straight, we have enough of a gap to avoid getting overtaken by the Brits. So we just have to nail this second sector. This is where the Mazda shine. You can see how much time we are gaining on the Spaniard and the guys up ahead, and we just have to nail these corners perfectly. He's not in our radar, so I just take my normal racing line. Don't really have to worry about defending, at least not yet, unless if he just gets close enough to where I'm feeling a little bit threatened, then I'll have to go for a defensive move. But as we head into the final corner, the gap just built and built and built, and we are now up about 0.7 of a second away from him, and the Spaniard actually gets a really bad exit, so we're just doing everything in our power to stay in the slipstream, see if we can push just a tad bit with the Mazda, see if he could give me a little bit extra juice, a little bit more horsepower. But as we head down the straight, nothing was able to be done, and you can see the Sirocco just pulls away once again, and we finished this race in peace, Steve, basically where we started off at. So we didn't gain anything, we didn't lose anything. I guess I'll call it a win. But you can see right around me, everybody used the Sirocco except for the first place Mohammed, who used the Mustang. But even he was under pressure. You can see how close of a finish it was between first and second. It was about 0.02 of a second. So very, very close. And yeah, might have to try out the Sirocco here around Daily Race B. But let me know how you guys are doing this week. I know this week has been a really entertaining and interesting one. I'm enjoying it. I'm not sure if all you guys are enjoying it, but if you guys are, comment that down below. And if you guys really enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really helps that channel when you guys do so. If you guys want to follow me on the social medias, Twitters, Instagram, Discord, all of those are in the description down below as well. And since you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.